You know, I have a question. What exactly is dragon element?
Food! Fuel! Food! Fuel! Food! Fuel! Big laser go!
Thanks, guys. I really appreciated you chiming in there. To my fellow hunters! What exactly is dragon element? The others we can understand, you know, fire, ow! We have ice, cold, we have water, soaked, and we have lightning. I don't know why I felt the need to give those examples. We have those in the riddle. You know what they do. But what does dragon do? What is it made of? What is its purpose? How did it originate? What is it?
What is it?
To me, that's a fascinating question, and it's one we're going to attempt to answer today. First and foremost, it is the oldest element, the first element.
I'm so old!
Yes, dragon element. Before anything else, there was dragon. It is pure, it is almost life energy itself. It's woven through the fabric of, well, nature in the Monster Hunter world. But it is dangerous. A little of it is a boon. Too much of it can drive you insane. And more still, can snuff out your life like a candle in the breeze. It is unstable, yet beautiful. It is chaotic, yet refined. The oldest known natural occurrence of it is that in the Dragonfell berries. These grow and have within them contained little pockets of dragon energy. These are the berries that thunderbugs eat to turn into dracophage bugs, which is what turns a xen'jiiva into a Stygian xen'jiiva. When these dracophage bugs overflowing with dragon energy, nest in the xen'jiiva, transfer that energy to it gains such dramatically increased strength. Yet the Stygian doesn't ever generate the dragon itself, it's simply a host. It's borrowing it. In fact, there is very few monsters that stand outside of the Elder Dragon category that can claim use of the dragon element. Stygian one of them, Akantor another, and Deviljho the final. What? Those last two are ones that have it internally, and both of them are ancient primordial monsters, unchanged for a long time. That is no coincidence given how old dragon element itself is, but Deviljho in particular gives us quite the insight into one of dragon element's mysterious properties. First and foremost, it is capable of sealing power, stripping dragons of their greatest strengths, washing weapons clean of other elements due to it being the oldest, first and most powerful of them all. Perhaps dragon is even the combination of all of them together. But the fact remains that those afflicted by too much dragon are not what they once were. In fact, dragon itself attacks the mind. And ironically, the more sentient, the more intelligent, the more, well, quick-witted a creature is when struck by dragon, the more it is going to feel it. The more pain, the more devastation, the more damage. And indeed, this is why something like Yamkut-Ku is essentially immune to dragon, because he's an idiot and just acts on instinct. But that also applies to a certain Deviljho, who is, let's put it simply, an eating machine, more so than other monsters, to gluttonous, unending levels. And given that dragon runs in trace amounts through all creatures, almost like the pulse of the world, Deviljho takes on a lot of it. But the curious thing then is the transformation into Savage Deviljho. You see, Savage Devil Joe is the occurrence when the Devil Joe eats more Devil Joe and takes on way too much dragon energy. And this dragon energy, given that it attacks the mind, well, does just that. It drives Devil Joe insane. It completely overwrites what little there was there to begin with and turns him into an unstoppable murder psychopath, which, let's be honest, he already was, but even more so. Savage Joe is very much a case that he is like that because of Dragon. He doesn't have Dragon because he's like that, if that makes sense. So this is a lovely base point, right? The dragon element itself attacks the core of a person, the mind, the life force, suppressing powers. It's why Elder Seal is a thing. Once your mind is being afflicted, you lose your faculties, you lose the ability to generate and control accurately your strongest attacks. And that, on top of it actually absorbing other elements, is why it does shut down Elder Dragons so effectively. In fact, shutting down Elder Dragons is perhaps even the purpose of Dragon Element. It might genuinely be nature's inbuilt check against such powerful creatures. Dragonfell berries are berries that even Elder Dragons are said to be scared of. They avoid them because they know that too much dragon is very, very bad. So where they grow, dragons don't tend to roam. It then makes sense that these creatures that are powered by dragon are weak to it, because a little bit of dragon is very good, but too much is the end of you. And that can be seen very specifically with something like Nikakos, whose death animation is him firing one last colossal dragon beam. And this might be seen as a final Hail Mary, oh, I'm dying, fuck you, blah! But it's not. It's not him firing a dragon beam as he dies. It's that dragon beam killing him. It is colossal. It is too much dragon being expended while he is so weak from the hunter's onslaught. That final dragon beam essentially fries him. It shorts his brain, it shuts him down, it overtakes him. It is too much and he cannot control it, and the backfire of that laser, well, completely obliterates the Nikakos. That's how dangerous dragon is, even in those that control it as much as Nikakos does, if used recklessly. And that fine balance is what keeps nature, well, in balance. Dragon element is the flow of the world, and that is really quite awesome. But it goes beyond this, then. So all creatures have a tiny little bit of dragon in them, but Elder Dragons way more so. See, the bite of something like a Kushala can inflict dragon blight. At least it could in 4th gen, but not so much now. The same with a Cantor, though they don't literally generate and fire it themselves. That takes much more dragon element. And indeed, the creatures that are capable of projecting dragon element as weapons are creatures that are based around life, the taking on of it, the manipulating of it, or, well, the destroying of it. Something like White Fatalis, the oldest and most powerful of beings. Of course he has lived long enough to acquire enough dragon and learn the control to combine it with lightning for dragon lightning pillars. Devil Joe, as we said, eats so much that he just manages to generate enough of it from all of said eating. Stygian, surrounded and infused by thousands of overflowing dragon insects. Alatreon, scales generating every element, dragon included, until he is unstable, and honestly, that overload of dragon is likely why he is unstable to begin with. It's no coincidence that his dragon explosion attack looks like it escaping randomly like lightning in a chaotic manner. There's no finesse, there's no control. It's just a release, an overflow of dragon before it takes him. It likely is just keeping his dragon values in check before they are too much for even him to contain. Nikakos, who fires the biggest dragon laser ever, is just Big Devil Joe in terms of him eating everything, extincting environments by consuming all life, taking on so much dragon energy. Xeno'jiiva, absorbing bioenergy from elder dragons, from everything that has died, taking it into itself in its cocoon, comes out in such a way that it can use dragon on a level that we've never seen before, and that is something we'll talk about a little bit later. Ebony Odogaron seen eating other Odogaron, and again we have a sort of mini joke situation going on here. The odd one out is of course Valstrax, who isn't really going crazy in any kind of way. He just jets around using the dragon element, but with him, the way his chest engine works is it only takes a very little amount of dragon to be ignited into much more. It's like a combustion engine. It works in a very, very special way. So, dragon element, ancient, seals power, affects the mind, is nature's balancing force, all of that, okay? But what happens when nature's balancing force, well, fails to balance? Enter Xeno'jiiva and Safi'jiiva. This is where things get worrying. This is where the dragon element is perverted. And in that perversion, well, true danger lies. True apocalyptic worry. Because the Jiiva line, the red dragons, their interaction with life energy, with dragon energy, with bioenergy, is what makes them so scary. Because although they are weak to dragon, chiefly due to being so intelligent, Safi especially, you can see him look, him think, him plan. But despite being weak to dragon, the manner in which they use it is beyond any other creature. It's beyond anything else we've seen. We know that taking on dragon energy, well, gives you great power, but too much can really end you. But when it comes to Xeno, he was in a cocoon, absorbing bioenergy, absorbing life force, absorbing dragon for so long, and he came out of it overflowing with power. And that energy, that pure light blue beam, is dragon element. It doesn't always need to look like the crackling red and dark lightning that we normally see it as. No, that is raw dragon element, but it can be refined. Xeno'jiiva can apply Dragon Blight. Safi'jiiva can't because he's refined it even further. But that pure energy is pure dragon, a combination of all the elements of life itself fired out with such willpower and force. And here, dragon is failing to keep a powerful creature from taking over, from destroying nature itself, because this thing has more dragon than anything else ever has, and it is far from insane. It is far from killing it. All it is doing is granting it obscene strength. Strength that grows even further in Safi with his control over it to the point of Sapphire of the Emperor. And while it seems to be fiery, well, there is so much life dragon energy held within. At least that is my thinking, that is my theory, and to me it makes complete sense. That's why the black dragons aren't a fan of, well, Safi, or the red dragons if there is another one, but even if there isn't, why Alatreon came to the New World to shut him down, because they are a creature that is somehow above the balancing law of dragon, which even the black dragons aren't. That is something that is a threat to all life, not just hunters, but to all monsters, black dragons included. Safi'jiiva and anything else he turns into, if he does have a third form, a true, final, unstoppable form, is a creature that has no limit on how much dragon energy they can absorb and use, because no matter how much it is, it doesn't affect them negatively. And that is the key here. That is the threat. We have something that has no upper limit on how much it can absorb and how strong it can get. It can just keep absorbing. And that is as scary as it is cool. course, this is just my theories and feelings and thoughts based on what we do know about Dragon Element, but to me it all does very much fit into place, and it is a very neat little element of the Monster Hunter world. Let me know what you guys think, let me know how you feel about this, but until next time, like if you enjoyed it, subscribe for more. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.
Rage Gaming with the video float.
But that's all that's really relevant at the mo, but I'm still gonna leave this up so you patrons know that I love you even though the outro's no longer that kind of relevant. But the new one's being worked on and it's gonna be a truly badass song, and don't worry, I won't be doing any rapping on it. I'm gonna go now. This was shit.